In today's video, we're going to show you a few simple exercises to help coordinate your blowing, squeezing, and fingering of this crazy instrument right here. Stay tuned. Well, hello everybody, I'm Matt Willis Bagpiper, and on this channel I make videos to make you a stronger and more confident piper. If you like this kind of content, please think about giving the video a like and subscribing to the channel. I also teach Skype and online lessons if you want more personalized instruction, but more on that later. One of the issues many beginning pipers have is the coordination of their fingering along with their blowing and the squeezing of the instrument. What I see all too often is that beginning players will wait for a long note to take a big breath in so they don't have to worry about moving their fingers while they're squeezing primarily on the instrument to be generating the sound. The problem with that is you need to breathe at whatever cadence you need to breathe at. When you need to breathe in, you need to breathe in. If the bag gets too empty, you're not going to be able to reinflate the bag in a smooth manner that is seamless to your audience. We're trying to keep the pressure in this bag as stable as possible at all times. So we need to learn how to move our fingers while we're also blowing, and these exercises can really help with that. In the description below, there's a link to the PDF we'll be using today, so go ahead, print that out, have it on a tablet, put it in front of you so you can follow along. So the idea here is when we're on the pipes, while inflating the bag, we're going to be holding just one note. And then when we go to squeeze the bag as the primary way of generating the velocity of the air across the reeds, we're going to be moving our fingers, the opposite of what the beginning player wants to do. And we're going to be using a 5-count rhythm to do this. We're going to be holding a note for 3 counts, and then we're going to be moving our fingers across the next 2 counts. Now, ultimately, when you're playing your pipes, there is no exact cadence of blowing and squeezing. Again, this is an exercise to help with the blowing, squeezing, and coordination of the finger work, not how you breathe into the bagpipe at all time. But the first thing we need to do is make sure we can do all the fingering that we're going to be doing on the pipes on the practice channel to take perhaps one level of thought out of this. For the first exercise is going to be a simple E and then kind of a cadence back and forth between E and low A. That's relatively simple and really only involves one simple G grace note and the movement of your ring finger to close down to low A. This one's great to start with because it ensures that the bottom hand is closing in an A position. And the reason we're holding an E is that is the pressure that the entire instrument's more or less built around. In an upcoming video, we're going to talk about the proper blowing strength you should be at for any given reed. That's beyond the scope of this video, but we want to stay kind of in the top hand for a number of reasons. One of those being that it takes more air for the note to sound at its fullest and best, and we want to, well, be generating the proper amount of puff into the bag. So in any case, we're going to start on an E, hold that for 3 beats, and then do a G grace note on E, back down to A, kind of back and forth a few times. And when you can finger that properly on the practice channel, go ahead and try it on your pipes, like this. The next exercise is going to be all top hand. This one is going to be holding again an E for again 3 beats while we're blowing into the instrument. And then when we're squeezing down, we're going to be doing a G grace note on E, up to an F, and then up to a G. This one's difficult for a number of reasons. One of them being, while we're squeezing the bag with our left arm, I'm also requiring you to be moving those fingers, an important skill to be able to do. It takes a lot of squeeze, and we need to be able to disassociate the squeeze we're generating with all these muscles from the tension we have in our forearms so that we're not, well, cramping up on these. So again, on the practice channel first, to make sure you can do the fingering properly, start on an E, hold it for 3 beats, then do a G grace note to E, up to an F, up to a G. Do that pattern one more time, so twice through the E, F, G, and then back to the E, where we go to reinflate the bag for another 3 counts. When you can finger that properly on your practice channel, try it on the pipes, as shown here. Then the final one, instead of coming in and holding an E, we're going to hold a high A and try to keep it nice and slightly thin and breathy. Not staticky and kind of crowy, but we also don't want super loud, bright, and clear. A proper high A should be just slightly thin. It's a little underblown from where it can be at its absolute clearest, and it's supposed to be that way. The fingering for this one, as shown right here, is going to be high A for 3 beats. Then we're walking down a G, F, E twice, and then back up to high A for 3 beats. With again, the high A being when we're inflating the bag, and the G, F, E runs being while we're squeezing down on the bag. For the beginning player, this might be way harder than you think it should be. It is quite the exercise to be moving your fingers while only squeezing and trying to coordinate your breath in such a manner. But even for the more advanced player, you might find this difficult. I was actually having some struggles filming this because I'm so used to not thinking of my blowing and squeezing along with my fingering that trying to coordinate those together proved to be a challenge. But that also shows a lack of control. We should be able to do, well, anything we ask this and all of this stuff to do. So even if you're a more advanced player, you might give these exercises a go and see exactly how well you do. And what speed should this metronome be set at? I don't know if you need to have an actual hard, loud clicking tick, 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 though you can if you have one that's loud enough. You can do your best to try to keep track of these beats on your own. And you can set the tempo of this 3-2 exercise at whatever speed you need it to be at. If you're a beginner, it might need to be a fairly fast blow, 2, 3, squeeze, 2, blow, 2, 3, squeeze, 2. And if you're more experienced or a fitter person with good cardiovascular and upper body strength, it might be as slow as 1, 2, 3, squeeze, 2. Or slower yet still. Find a speed that works for you where you're able to maintain your breath well, that you're not gasping for air, but you're also not like filling up the tank so much that you have like stale air left in your lungs and that you're not able to expend enough of it while blowing into the bag. Find a tempo that works for you. This is going to take a little while. This is not one and done in one afternoon. This is something I would incorporate into your practice long-term over several weeks. And maybe try the exercise a few times on the practice channel first to make sure that you're remembering how to finger it so that we can turn some of the brain off for that and think more about what we're doing with our blowing and squeezing while moving our fingers. There you go, everybody. An exercise that I hope can make you a stronger and more confident piper. It's the whole goal of this channel, and anything I can think to do that will improve our playing, well, I'm happy to share with you guys. Thank you again so much for watching. If you got something out of the video, please consider giving it a like, commenting below with any thoughts you might have, and subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. I also want to give a big shout out to the Patreon members. You'll see their names scrolling up right now. These are folks that contribute to the channel monthly. I'd love to add your name to this list. Really, these videos wouldn't be possible without the support of these fine people. These videos don't make themselves, and the support, well, is greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you. I also teach Skype and online lessons. Go ahead and head over to www.commandyourbagpipe.com or email me at the address you see here, and we'll get you going. I'm working with folks from all over the planet, and I hope to work with you soon. Another way to support the channel is to pick up some bagpipe merchandise like this lovely prescription bagpipe cup. But I also have the Command Your Bagpipe line, as well as the new Bagpipes Are My Job shirt, and this lovely Highland bagpipe embellishment tree right here, which shows you all of the Highland bagpipe embellishments and how they're timed in one, I think, relatively handsome looking poster. So go check out the merch store. Well, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'm Matt Willis, and until next time, cheers.